Hi, Course 2 students. So here we are, day number 2. We are actually today going to do a little math. So I know we did the welcome video yesterday, but today what we're going to be doing is just reviewing chapter 8. I wanted to go over a few things with you because they will kind of play into this next lesson where we talk about area and perimeter and stuff. So to get started, I just have OneNote open. So I'm going to draw on OneNote just like you would normally. But yeah, so let's get started. I have a little pen and stylus that I'm using that I bought for the online learning because it helps me just to be able to write normally as if I would. But if you don't have that, you can use your mouse. So up here, I only am showing you a section because outside of here is people's names. So I decided not to do that. But up here you have draw, which is outside of the thing, but you can click the draw button. And then again, outside you have your text box, which I think most of you figured out from the assignment that you had to do. But this first one here is your eraser. The second one here is your pen. Then you have another pen, and then you have a highlighter. So I'm going to use the pen right here, and there are so many different sizes you could have. You could make it really big. Let's click the pen here. You can make the pen really big, or we can make it really small. We have really small. I tend to use the really small or the really fine, so we've got more room to write on here. Yeah, then we can just use our eraser, erase it all pretty easily. So if you make a mistake, no worries. There's a ton of different colors in here. I think these ones are totally awesome. So if you look here, they're like cool. But you might want to use a little bit thicker if that's necessary. There's one that I think, does this one do it? There's one that actually sparkles. It's really, really cool. I think it's awesome that they give you multiple different opportunities, different colors, just to make it fun. So this is how you can write on any of your assignments, is using that. Just make sure that you make it so that I can easily see it, because if I can't read it, then I probably will send it back for a review. So we are going to be looking at now some chapter 8 concepts. So just going to write here, Chapter 8 review. And I'll save this page for you. It'll be again on OneNote, and I can save it and upload it and stuff like that so that you can see it. But let's look at some things that we for sure will need when we jump into chapter 8. And that is, when we jump into chapter 9. That is our circles. We need, and actually, I don't know why I'm doing this when I could just do this and insert a circle right here. Look, how cool is that? Okay, so now let's go back to our pen. So I'm actually going to do this in different colors so that that we can see. Let's do pink. I know, boys, that's probably not your favorite, but that's okay. Okay, so we're gonna do pink again, and we're gonna look at chords. So we have this as a chord, but remember, it's also called what? If you said diameter, you were correct. That is a diameter. Diameter. And then if we're going from the middle, remember diameter goes from one end of the circle to the other end of the circle, but it crosses through the center. It has to cross through the center. So then if we have a line that comes from our center out, that is called a radius. This is going to be This is going to come into play when we learn about pi, so just remember that. Now, this is what you're thinking of, a chord. If you said that's a chord, you are correct. That's a chord because it comes off of it goes from one side of a circle to the next side, but it does not cross through the center. Okay, so that is just a little bit of review on, I just really wanted to go over diameter and radius because you really need to know that for chapter 9 when we get into circumference and area of circles. If we go back up here to other shapes, we could just do a square, or we could do a rectangle, all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna redo that real quick. So we've got a square and we have a rectangle here. So remember, all the names for a square, there are lots of them. You could do this rainbow one here. A square is a square, but it's also a rectangle. It's a rhombus. It's a parallelogram. And it's a quadrilateral. Now over here, a rectangle is everything, but it won't be a square and it won't be a rhombus. So the full names of this are rectangle, parallelogram, and quadrilateral. So all of that those are just the most specific names. Remember how we figured out let's do indigo. Okay, so if we had a pentagon, remember I am not an artist, so I'm gonna try my best here, but we've got a pentagon, okay? 5 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How do we tell the area or the sum of the angles of this pentagon? Well, what we do is we remember our formula of n minus 2 times 180 degrees. So it's got 5 sides, so 5 minus 2 times 180 degrees. So this is 3 times 180. Which 3 times 180 degrees equals 540 degrees is the sum of the area in here. But what if we said we didn't want the sum, this equals the sum or the total, but we wanted to know what each angle. So we wanted to know the measure of each angle. Well, how we do that is we take our sum, we take our 540 degrees, and we divide it by 5, by the number of sides. And that would give us 108. So each measure angle would be 108 degrees. Now this is again just a review of everything that we've been going over. So I know I am going kind of fast, but I want you guys to remember these things. So I'm going to give you some homework problems on this specifically. How do we tell? Oh, let's look at triangles for a minute. So remember, let's do another color here. Let's go green. Let's say Patty's Day the other day, so we've got green. So we need to measure triangles. And forgive my handwriting. We need to measure triangles 2 ways, by their angles and by their sides. And we measure the angles and sides in 3 different ways each. The angles can be a 90-degree angle, an acute angle, which is less than 90, or obtuse, which is greater than 90. The sides, they could be equilateral, which means that all sides are equal. They could be isosceles, which says that only two sides are equal. So equilateral is all sides are equal. Isosceles is two sides. And then we have scalene, which says no sides are equal. So that is a real brief view of that. One more thing that I want to go over real quick with our video is if it's a parallelogram, or sorry, not if it's a parallelogram, but if it is it a polygon? So remember, if I had a shape like this and it's rounded, that itself would not be a polygon because it has a rounded side. Polygons cannot have rounded sides. If it's something like this, it's also not a polygon because it's open. Polygons have to be, they can't be rounded and they can't be open like that. But a polygon could look anything like, we could have a polygon that looks like that. I should have given myself more room. Sorry about this. Polygons. Okay, so here's a polygon. We can have an octagon, which is a polygon. All of these are polygons. They have closed sides. They're not rounded. Those are polygons right there. Okay, so this is our chapter 8 review. I'm going to upload the video here to this chapter 8 review page. I'm going to leave this up here so you can take a look at this anytime. And then here's where your homework is going to be, and you're going to, just like you filled out the assignment yesterday for that, you're going to do that again today and upload or just leave it in the homework section, and then I'll lock it on. I'm going to give you until probably Saturday to do it, and then lock it, and then I will grade it, and then we will get ready with chapter 9 on Monday. All right, I hope you guys have a great weekend.